All right, y'all. Right now, I am currently sitting in the car. All right. It is Saturday. One second. I'm trying to get cozy. It's Saturday. We got electricians at our house. And I was going to stay home until, like, my fiance, he was going to get his hair cut. And he was, like, about to leave. He got in his car. And it, like, it didn't occur to me because he told me, he was like, oh, like, there's not going to be power. But he told me that, like, 3 weeks ago, and I totally forgot. And I was like, wait, I'm coming with you. Because as soon as he, like, was like, all right, I'm about to leave, power got shut off, AC got shut off. I saw my phone go from 5G to, from Wi-Fi to 5G. I was like, I'm coming with you. So, what we're going to do here is just a little backtesting session, you know? Because this week wasn't like a good trading week for me. I ended off the week in an L. Actually, yeah, I ended off the week in an L. So, L trading week. It is what it is. Next week, we're gonna try our best to get W's. Yeah, but it was an L trading week, so now I basically want to go back into the markets and see what we did. Let me make sure you guys can actually see me. So now I want to go back into the markets and see what we did here. So what I like to do is mark off like previous day highs, previous day lows, and I want to do that. Let's start off with the beginning of the week. What we trade is London session, right? So what I'll do is previous day highs from the previous week, which would be Friday. So previous day high on Friday. And when we do previous day high, it's New York session. Just to remember. So, yeah, that was the high. Friday. So previous day high. And then the low was here. So as we could see, previous day low. As we could see, New York session was bearish on Friday for the majority of it, right? New York opened here and then we moved up, but for the majority of the rest of the session, it was pretty much bearish. We ended off bearish. Now what we'll do is we'll mark up Asian high and Asia low. All right, that's the high, and then this was, let's see which one was smaller. Lower. This one, technically. Okay, and that's Asia low. So now what we do is we come 3 a.m. We'll wake up, and what I would have saw was 3 a.m. So now let's go to, because I'm majority of the time I'm looking on 5 minute, 3 minute, 1 minute, but I like to mark up the structure points, the previous day high, previous day low on the 1 hour. Makes it a little bit easier for me to just mark it up. So now we could see 3 a.m. What do we have at 3 a.m.? So 3 a.m. we could see we have this big push, and then I could see we have this fall. So what I do is go down to the 3 minute and be like, okay, we have now broken above Asia high. And to me, this, like, if this came in and then we were shorting this way, I'd be like, okay, it's a sweep. But here I would see clearly that price is beginning to move up, and now we're becoming bullish. And we could see we had that Asian manipulation where price ended up going bullish, and then we could see, yeah, Asia session was just bullish. Early London session, pre-London, was bullish. So we could see all that. So what I would be looking for was to continue buys. Now, we could see here, we kind of have, so we have this liquidity sweep here. Price got swept there. What we could see here now is another sweep. And for me, I would be like, okay, there's a potential for price to come down, and we just have a little scalp to take. And a lot of the trades I take are scalps. Now we can see we have this huge freaking gap here. So we can see that price could be trading into the gap. This is a really hard one to define just because of how huge that gap is. Like if we go to the 15-minute, does the gap look smaller? Does it look better? Yeah, we can see here, like it's just a huge gap in here. So price, you could see that price probably wants to get filled, and it's another reason why the buys make sense in this scenario. But I would see that on the 3-minute and I'd be like, okay, I see a potential scalp here at 3 a.m. So we can see we have the sweep, and then once price broke below there, I'd be looking for sells, and I would just put my stop loss right above here. I put it a couple pips, so we could put it like 30, and then I would just go for a 1 to 2, just a simple 1 to 2, because I wouldn't trust like price coming all the way down here, because I'm still bullish. Like this would be too far. I'd be like, okay, I'm taking a 1 to 2, and that's it. That's as far as I would stretch it. And if we were to come in here and go exactly like 30, then I probably could have just taken it to this wick here. Yeah. So if I got in early, I could do that. Or I could have waited for price to come in wick into here, show me more rejections, and kind of get a close here right before price dropped. And then we could have had something a little bit closer, like down to these wicks for 1 to 2. And I would have put it right there. I would prefer like body, but I would take this like body close right there, in here. These wicks would probably be the farthest that I would want to go. This wick here, yeah, I wouldn't see like all of that. I could see maybe like the fill into that fair value gap, because we could see literally price filled into that fair value gap and then reversed. So 1 to 2 would have been what I'd taken here, because my overall bias is bullish, but we can see that we still have those sweeps. We can see 3 a.m. opens, we sweep this, we come and sweep this high. So for me, in the way that I trade, this makes sense. And then we had that break of candle entry. My overall bias would be to go for buys, right? So now I go back to the 5-minute and I'd be like, okay, what am I looking for exactly? And now we could see here that price had a sweep, right? So this is an area for a sweep, this is an area for a sweep, this is an area for a sweep, this is even an area for a sweep, right? So let's say we did something like this, right? And then we could see on the 5-minute, price came into this fair value gap to fill it. And what I wait for is a close, a break of here, so candle closure. So I see this here, that rejection there, and then I'd be like, okay, I need to see a candle closure above there. We go down to the 1-minute because price didn't come back up into here. So this would lead me to believe that, okay, maybe price is still moving bearish. And I know me and the way that I trade, I would be hesitant to take this trade until I saw price basically break above. Like this here would show me, okay, price broke above here, so now we're moving bullish. And then this candle right here, this close, would give me confidence that we're rejecting this area. So this is where I'd be like, okay, I want to take it. Price would fill me somewhere in here. I put my stops below here. We could do it like 25. And then I go for, this would be like the first TP for the first high. I would take it to this next high. And then the last high I would take it to is right here. And we can see price literally got right to there. Now, what I want to focus on more is 1 to 2s, focusing on 1 to 2s. So 1 to 2s I've noticed have worked out a lot for me. If I just closed at a 1 to 2, 9 times out of 10, my trades would hit. That's when I'm trying to go for these bigger kind of trades and these smaller areas where price doesn't do it. Like, let's say I was trying to, let me explain my reasoning here. So let's say I saw this and I'm like, okay, let's take it all the way up to here. Like, price never got there. That's a huge one. Like, I wouldn't even take it that high. But I'm just showing as an example. Like, sometimes I get a little bit ambitious. Like, even this, we didn't even come down to here, right? So let's go to the next one. That's the good thing about this strategy, is like you can find entries everywhere. We can see price came into here, and then we came into the supply zone, and then price was basically rejecting off of here. Once we had a close above, like a bullish candle, I would have felt confident to take it. If we go down to the 1 minute, let's see what we have on the 1 minute. We can see on the 1 minute here, like this would show me, okay, price is consolidating. Price doesn't want to move down anymore, because we can see we had this shift down. But this is showing me that price action is slowing down. We could see we have price come here once and then come back up twice, come back up third time, come back up fourth time, come back up, right? I would feel confident in taking this, right? Look at that. That's like a triple bottom. So I feel confident taking this once we got that break of candle entry. So once we got the break of candle entry in here, I would take this, right? We break there, and then I will put my stops right below this area. So when it comes to, when price kind of comes in past this middle area, I put my stops below, and I'll put it below a couple, like a pip or two. And then what am I writing this to? The next probable area is literally this high. Like, this high is what makes sense. I could take it to the body. A lot of times I do take it to the body, but in this scenario, boom, 1 to 3.3. You can see Asia high. So previous day, New York session, bullish. Asia, bearish, manipulation. London, pre-London, bullish. So we wake up, it's 2:30 a.m., right? Let's drop down. We can see all of these have literally been swept, okay? Everything's been swept. Previous day low's been swept. Asia high's been ran. Previous day high's been ran. Everything has been run. Oh gosh, I can't even go down that low. Okay, let's try 5 minute. Can we go down that low on 5 minutes? Asia session swept previous day lows from New York, and then we could see we ran Asia highs. We ran those highs, right? Because Asia ends 12. So we ran Asia highs, and then we ran previous day highs before we even got our 3 a.m. open, right? So now we could see 3 a.m. opens. Big old push up. That's not a sweep to me. This is not a sweep. This here is a sweep. Okay, boom. Yeah, we can take some sells down. And I could have gotten faked out here, but I would have waited for candle close, and I would have been like, I don't know about that one. I would have seen rejection. But we can see big push up. Okay, now what am I looking for? Now I'm looking for buys. And if we were to go down into the lower time frames, right, we would see buys. We would see price kind of getting a sweep, kind of coming into this area here. But I don't see it on the 5 minute, unfortunately. It's not as clear on the 5 minute, but what I could see here is we had that big bullish engulfing. Price kind of swept here, and then on the 1 minute we probably have like something in here. There's something in here on the 1 minute showing me that price is going to continue up. I would wait for a close above like that, boom, and then we go 1 to 2, and I would look left and I'd see, okay, what is left? Boom, 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 boom. Left, we could see the only other highs that we have is here, right? We have here, this high, and then we have here, this high. And that's where I take it to, is this high, right there. And boom. Simple as that. You could do that in the 5 minute. The only thing that I don't like is the fact that I can't see what was in here. Because in here, there's a reason why price got swept here, and there's something in here. There's a little fair value gap. There's a little supply zone. There's something on the lower time frame that we want to get, but just can't get it yet. So can't see it. Obviously, if it was a live session, we would see that. But yeah, that's what I'm really looking at. I do want to keep this pretty short. All right, thank you guys for watching. That's going to be the end of this backtesting session. If you have any more questions about the strategy that I use, please leave them down below. It's a really easy, really quick strategy. It is a scalping strategy, something that's going to get you in and out of the market, right? If you're a type of person who you don't have that much time to be on the charts, this is a great strategy for you. It's what I've been using lately, and it's been working out. I've been hitting trades more. So scalping is kind of what I'm liking, and day trading is what I'm liking as well. So until I can fully be off of work, this is a strategy that just works with my schedule. And you can see, guys, this stuff hits. It hits at 3 a.m. It hits during Asian session. It hits during New York session. I didn't drop it. I didn't show anything during New York session. But even then, it hits then. All sessions, you could trade this strategy. And it's great. It's not my strategy. I do not claim the strategy. This is a strategy that I learned from somebody else. But I'm tweaking it. I'm defining it on my own to making more of my strategy. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. JJB out.